we're alive once more. Once more. Boy. Fuck. Oh yeah, it's been 37 Celsius. So, uh-huh.
It's going to be in Fahrenheit almost 100 today.
Yes. It is like 98. So. Hey. So, there's almost no introduction. Welcome to our session of the Archipelago number 74. Oh god. It's fucking hot outside. There's a bunch of Twitter drama apparently. Uh One of the other campaigns ended. Congratulations to them. They lived. And yeah. Pretty alright. Pretty decent so far. Um how's everybody else's day been?
Finally a day to rest after the last few days.
I have today and the next 2 days off, but one of those days I have to get a root canal.
Oh, for fuck's
Ouch.
sake. That is not a good thing.
Okay, quickly checking on some things. Gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let me just quickly.
Dragon's betrayal, family issues.
In game, in the session. Let's see.
That's just the document that just has on a shelf somewhere.
Do you even have a shell?
I don't, that's the best part.
Okay.
I don't need one. I'll just attempt to cast a more permanent version of what's it called? Did I genuinely forget the name of this spell? I did.
So,
Hence this floating disc. There we are.
okay. So, I guess one simple question for all of you. As I got redeemed to drink water. So cheers to all of you. I hope you fucking hydrated. It's fucking hot. I drank 4 bottles of water today.
I have 3 bottles of water standing next to me right now.
God damn it! It should have been fucking episode 69 with this heat. Then would be more hilarious. Something. So, I got a simple question since there's only both of you, easy to answer. Are you fucking ready? Yeah, ready for this?
Yep.
Whew.
Looking up some final spells before the session. Death Ward. There we go. Okay.
So, last we left off, you decided to proceed south in hopes to find your 12th brother, Lecter, which it was very easy to find after just a few hours after you went from Ligna. You start to hear this very, very annoying music, very loud music, ears shattering, eternal organs cubing music. You found the source in a little island that was inhabited by your brother and one additional dude. Not a lot of convincing was needed to get them both on board. Both. Yeah. You made it all on ship and you set course again for the bastard. And I guess the heat the heat boggles my mind. I don't really think you did a lot. Just literally ventured towards potentially your brother, visited
We
some
spent
islands, saw some
a lot of the session was being spent doing all of that annoying radio music.
True. Yeah, it's like a fucking. It's like one of those tinfoil hats, just in reverse. As it scrambles your mind. But if I remember correctly, just you gathered your brother. Sveta got fucking stone out of the blunt. Zan was surprised that Johnny drank the entire bottle of signature brew of Zan's. And not much really has happened as you kind of set up the course. So, with that, let me just quickly.
Today will be a lot of questioning. At least on my end, I don't exactly know your plans, Ken.
Why is it not working? Oh my god, everything's just bad.
The music bot melted.
It's as it should, right? Come on, play it. Hey! So,
There we go.
Oh boy. So, you're all, well, I guess, change course from the small little island in the middle of nowhere back towards the bastard. A place that you haven't visited in person for quite a long time. You went inside of it, you never went outside of it, so you don't really know how it looks. So, Jack did say that would inform you, as per usual, how long it would take for, I guess, exactly for you to arrive, but never did tell you anything thus far. It's been just a few minutes, technically. So, it is midday. It is about 3-ish p.m. What are all you doing as you're nicely, slowly, but certainly flying towards the next course?
Pretty sure I'll be hogging a bit of time. Ken, want to go first?
I don't have a whole lot planned today. He's basically gonna just make his rounds, talk with the crew, hang out at the bar mainly.
Visiting the
Stuff
new
like
fuckers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for Ken's thing, so Ken, after basically getting back from the 3 islands that you visited earlier today, since that point when you came back, you haven't seen Prophet Matthew anywhere on the ship, or Matthew, and you thought maybe just didn't see him, but now it's been like several hours, and you haven't seen him anywhere. Just a noteworthy thing.
He's going to silently call out to Matthew, say, yeah, basically saying, okay. I don't know. He's just basically he remembered what he was saying he was going to do to that one, to the science officer, or to the scientist guy. It's like, Please don't. We might still need him.
There's no response.
Fine silence.
With that, he's then going to then head to the scientists then.
Okay. You see the familiar schematics. Not a lot of people now. A lot of them are basically getting food and lunch. Some are still there. The paper is a lot more fuller now. Just basically layer on layers of schematics on top of schematics and actual how do I say this? Actual feasible instructions or attempts on a specific design, on specific aspects of the ship. From armor reinforcements to turret replacements, shielding to something more that you don't really comprehend. But yeah, you see like 7-8 people, just either.
Are any of them the ones that built the reactor that's in the ship?
Yes.
He's going to go talk with them about the fact that Norn is currently expelling vast amount of radiation. It's possible that a device like that forced to the reactor is excuse me, throat's hurting, is might be what's causing that to happen on his thing, and if so, would somebody be able to go in there and see if it can't be turned off?
So you've seen a lot of them working on that generator, like a lot. And as you ask, you see this older man in his 60s, ashen hair with streaks of blonde still, has these short mustache, glasses. Seems to be on this just book of sorts, like a notebook. And then kind of looks at you. Well, it depends on many factors. What kind of reactor is it? How badly is it damaged? What's the leakage? What kind of material you used? He kind of looks at you a bit expectantly, then kind of lowers his gaze. But I assume you don't have any of those in mind or in hand. No photographic evidence, no.
Unfortunately, the individual who built that reactor is currently away in a different part with the rest of my people who evacuated. Although now I'm not so sure about his inclusion within this world anymore.
Huh. Well. He kind of scratches his head. Well, theoretically, observations can be made and attempts to deactivate a reactor can be possible, but if it went critical and there's a spillage of toxic radioactive material, he kind of like clenches his jaw a bit, almost discomfortingly, as he sits there for a moment in silence and then looks at you. Your island might not be even salvageable, depending on the amount of the reactor's contents, the surrounding area, the the wind currents, the casing that is made out of, and he starts to almost like, as he speaks loudly, he starts to go more and more quiet, and he seems to be just murmuring about tungsten a lot.
He's gonna like do the hands like hello. Like, in any case, we might need some of those suits like the one you made me to help protect against the radiation there. Since I believe that one of Lecter's brothers is in there, if I do remember. So we might have to go in there.
It kind of looks a bit almost like rude. Well, if you make contact with someone living there, that means it's not as radioactive as you might thought.
It is the robot.
Oh. Kind of most probably lowers his gaze. You know what? I'll see about it. And he kind of stands up and starts walking away from the workshop and up the main deck.
After that, Gendov's just gonna go back about his business, wandering the boat. And all that.
So,
wait for responses for that.
Okay. So, takes you about several minutes just waiting or just minding your own business. And you get through the speakers asking you, Kendall, to get on the main deck.
Alright. He's gonna make his way.
So, as you make your way on the deck, you see the first thing is the massive, on the massive screen is the island of Null. And you see it looks like a charred thing just at first glance. Everything is just black and just destroyed. But then when you look upon it closer, you realize that it's not. It looks like it's sharp, but it's actually not. All the trees, all the land from above view, looking downwards, everything looks normal. Just the coloration is off. It's roll me perception check. If you could, Kendall. Okay. So, looking like you can see that every few seconds there's almost like an update to the image as you see the clouds above it slightly move from one place to another, and you see the rays of light hitting the land, and you realize that the entire place slightly reflects, like the ground itself, the trees itself reflect. Observing closer, because it's just white dots on the screen and the sea of black. It reminds you of a very specific incident. That of the King's Hall, where you met the king after he got potentially assassinated by Omnius, and Jonathan being very pissed and grabbing one of the soldiers and turning into this abomination of a blackened body engulfed by this blight of stars. And it kind of gives you the same vibe of it. Same Same as Omnius, truly. And as you can observe it in your mind, you look upon where it should be, Forge Night. You see the giant construct of the Flying City just lodged into it. Maybe 2/3 of the city is just gone. Outside places still can be seen. You see something in the rubble. On top of it, you see a familiar glare into the sky. One of bright green. A construct that is maybe 10, 14 feet tall, carrying a large lance.
This lance. Can I see what it's made of?
The land seems to be covered the same thing as the rest of surrounding of the lands. Made of black substance, imbued with this white shine onto it. The entire creature is engulfed in it and just kind of stares to the sky. If you would not know better, you would think he's staring directly at wherever this feed you're getting from.
I'm going to send a message to Lecter saying, I might want to come up here and look at this.
I guess I'd follow suit then.
Yeah. So as Lecter is coming up, because there's like a lot of screens and it just showcases. Some of them are more higher quality, like when you go, like observe the entire island. It seems a lot more, but you go specific places, it gets more blurry. The figure can be seen quite as easily as it doesn't seem to be hiding its presence. Then you see like just a bunch of different screens with the massive island overall. And as you see like a bunch of different screens, and you see the man that you talked to, the one with the ashen hair, just kind of points to the screen that it showcases you this map that seems to like from brightest of like reds and a few spots in the middle where Forge Night is to basically almost nothing, just warm shades of green on the rest of the island. He just kind of looks at you and says, "This is, well, trivial, honestly. I thought this was some massive reactor for a nuclear plant or something. But, technically, you just can traverse the place with no radioactive suit except for a few hotspots in the actual center. Of course, if you stay there for weeks, then of course you will suffer immense and lethal waves of radiation poison. But with the suit that we provided you, technically just need to be, like, as he kind of like points, like almost like in a circle around the Forge Knight. Only there you kind of just need it. The rest is easily livable. Some people in Northern Africa lived in 6 times more contaminated places for decades. Not even forming leukemia. I don't see. He kind of shakes his head. As you see, Paul's kind of staring him down for a bit, and they kind of exchange gazes, and then the man coughs. And later, about this time, you also show up. So yeah, the suit more than enough security, and the rest of the place except for the city or the ruined city is enough. Though the substance of this is not radiation. Don't know what it is.
So you're checking on Norn again.
Yes. You said you had somebody there, right?
I do.
I was just prepping for the time we get back. Turns out that your old pals at the Platinum Seas have been stretching the truth a bit.
Find that, please.
As I point to the screen with the figure looking at us. Also that.
Light but audible sigh comes from Lecter. I know that there was at least one robot on there, but if I understand this correctly, this person does not look like me, right?
No, it looks of something familiar to someone else, but not
Definitely,
you.
definitely. Well, fuck it. I cast sending. Checking whether it reaches. I'm targeting a certain Omnius that we used to know. I don't know if the person still exists, but I mean, you can hope. Or hope not so. Are you still unknown?
You all of a sudden see the slight flicker on the screen in the eye. It all of a sudden just starts looking around for a bit. And then you get a response letter. Hey, boss man, how you doing? It's been a bit, hasn't it?
Certainly. I'm surprised. I thought Rog took care of you.
Oh, that red mess certainly did. One problem though for all of you. When you see someone lying and dying, one should probably finish them off. But then again, what do I expect more from such buffoons who let so many things slip under their fingers?
I definitely fit call out there. Still, you're right. Should have been more thorough. How's the island looking?
The island is in an excellent condition. Got some more new recruits. Zagrad has helped a lot. We're gonna meet again soon, Lecturer. And
Maybe.
yes. Oh no. There's no maybes, Lecturer. No. I gotta give the favor back. You tried to kill me and left me for death. Well, technically kill me. But then again, there were also a bunch of morons. And I got a new form. A gift from my patron of sorts. I get to keep this island. And the archipelago as well. And there's nothing you can stop me to do it. You can come and try to take it away from me. Because eventually I will come to you. And you know who I am, Electra. I killed your kind by the thousands at a time. And now I am a lot stronger.
Do I react to that? No.
If you look at Gandalf, he's looking at you with the deepest concern, saying, asking you. He doesn't say anything, but you can tell he's asking. Please tell me it's not him.
I just nod. No procedure. I know we've been decently successful in terminations before, but from now on, every enemy deserves a second bullet after death.
Are you saying that to Omnius or?
Nope, to Ken.
Okay.
For him, next time we kill him, I'll save 5 black tips just for him when he's dead.
Sock up then. We're going to need them. For now, I'm gonna make sure of some things that we actually survive until we meet again with this guy. Off to a good start then. Yep.
Gandalf walks past you, and as he's about to go through the door, you just hear a loud bang because he just punches the door frame and walks out.
Electra, as you look back at the screen, you see now a giant swarm of blackish mist. And you see the figure on the top of it just disappears with the mist itself.
Yep. I'm currently moving across the ship, specifically to check in a certain specific room that we haven't checked in a really long time. The room that Omnius used to store his honey in. One of the presidential suites that we haven't visited in a good while. Anything I'm finding there?
The ruins of his project as before.
Yeah. And just to make sure, yeah, lower dumps again, whatever. I'd like some more intel on the situation. So, I would like to cast Legend Lore on HKS 14.
Are you targeting the model or the individual?
The individual.
Roll me a D100. Oh shit.
90.
Came from line of HKs, also known as hunter-killer droids, specialized in killing arcane-based entities, may it be fully conscious magical users or abnormalities of the just the winds of magic. This one specifically was one of the final remnants of its own kind, destroyed, forgotten as newer models took place. But as its remnants forgotten and his mind deteriorated into nothingness, the empire that fought these by the thousands, an empire that crossed dozens of galaxies, in the people counts of trillions and beyond, was eventually consumed, by which, learning of this, he now serves them. For if his creators, with all their resources, all their might, and all their knowledge failed, what would he do in their stead but to join them and bask in the gifts and power they offer? That is what you get about HKS 14.
Yeah. One quick note. Writing down some stuff. Good enough. There we go. Okay. I initially planned on today being a bit of a happier day, but guess I'm not getting a choice. While I'm already at it, I'm going to ask for one more legend lore.
Sure.
Do I know of the things that the Banner of the First Dawn mentions, like in character?
The
Specifically calls out the parasite. And I would like to specifically try to legend lore the term that this parasite that the Banner of the First Dawn is referring to, what it is.
Ooh. Okay, roll me another D100 then.
On a one, I'm just gonna die.
You don't get words, you don't get sentences, you don't get any feasible logistical imperial data out of your request into the meaning of a parasite. But what you do get as you undergo the spell is your entire vision fades. Darkness surrounds you. And in front of you, a warm light comes from over the horizon. It slowly engulfs the darkness in a brilliant white, okay, with the rays of warm yellow light. It's a sequence of a few seconds, and that is all that you receive.
Yeah. I just remembered something.
Mm-hmm.
Technically speaking, I teleported at the end of the last session. Whatever. I'm going to catch it up later. Yeah. This is... not quite enough, but guess it shall suffice.
Mm-hmm.
Since I don't have anything else for the day, I'm going to actually start doing stuff tomorrow. I think I'm going to spend my evening with Golden and Kirai. So, getting back into the
what?
thing. Remember during the last session, I said that I was kind of nearby the center of the archipelago, and I had the deal with Kirai that I wanted to talk with him.
You wanted to teleport.
Yeah, and I wanted to do that, but we kind of forgot about it, so I'm doing it now.
Okay, where are you gonna teleport?
To Dublin.
Wait, where? you cut off.
To Dovin.
Oh, Dovin. Okay.
Number 1.
Yeah. I just heard a yeah, I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my internet connection is kind of shitting itself today, and I don't know why.
Okay, so give me a second. So roll me a d100.
That is going to be kind of dangerous.
Oh God. But you do have familiarity with the target, right? So.
Yeah, very familiar. That would be off target.
Yeah, off target. Yeah. Yeah. So give me a second. It's gonna be. So, Lecter, my boy. So, the sensation of a dry and somewhat windy interior immediately changes you getting like crushed slightly by the pressure of the waters. The sensation is a bit bad. You feel your chassis kind of creaking under the pressure. Relatively fine by all other means. You feel that you're not on a floor bed of like the gray sand that you previously seen at the bottom of the ocean, but this feels like you're on like a chitinous platform of sorts. But also you have the sensation that it's moving slightly. It seems to be either maybe traveling, free-fallish. You look around, you see that you're just mainly on this chitinous thing overgrown by stones and other protrusions, and it seems to be like maybe 10 feet to your left and then maybe 40 feet to your right, just looking, and then you see directly in front of you and behind you see that it goes on for a long time, and you do see that the current is moving quite fast. You look down, you don't really see the bottom. You don't know where you are or when you are. What is it you wish to do?
I'm pretty sure I know what this is. And especially because I'm kind of in a disadvantageous position right now, I would like to get away from it. So, since I have enough spell slots, I'm going to try again.
Okay, D100.
88.
Oh shit. So, as you teleport, right? With a sudden flash of light, you end up on same familiar chitin. This time a lot more jagged than previously, but also in front of you, you see maybe 30 feet and then just the end, but you also see this immense glowing bright light that seems to me to be piercing whatever this darkness is below you and reveals like a path, and it's slightly moving to the left and to the right. Additionally, looking at the light, you see these blackest tendrils that seem to be made of chitinous material that seem to just kind of put their uh, limbs forward and then kind of drag themselves. And you see kind of like 7 or 8 of them. Massive, maybe the size of you by their width. But also, just to your right, maybe 15 feet ahead of you, you see a familiar figure just standing idly, both feet just almost like just kind of embedded into the chitin and leaving the footsteps on him with a giant glaive. You see Dolan just eyeing what is in front of him, does not say anything, does not even move. You don't know if he sees you or not. He just seems to be looking the same way the light is looking.
Honestly, I'll leave him to it for now.
Okay, so you're about maybe 12, 15 feet away from him, behind him, to his left. You can see the end of this creature. You see that it's going under the at the seabed, and yeah, just water, nothing else.
I'll cast Sending to Kurai. Sorry about the late information, but if you are still interested in a conversation, I think I'm a bit closer to you than before. I'm currently at the seafloor at the middle of the archipelago, close to one of my brothers.
There is a pause. All right. You should have asked, really, but I guess you do what you gotta do. Can you leave?
Why should I?
Because he's going to the Azure Palace to meet with the Azure Empress, and she does not like tag-alongs, but then again, maybe she'll like you. I don't know. She's kind of mean.
Oh, so he's currently on his way there. In that case, if no tag-alongs are appreciated, try to inform me when you're free the next time.
Lecture,
This is my...
Lecture, just roll me a d10.
2.
Oh God. So Ken, can I just put you in your perspective real quick? So, you had your conversation with Lecter. Still in the bar. Lecter is being informed that, like a good 30 minutes later, that you're gonna reach the bastard in like a day and a half of time. And it's about 4 p.m. About midnight, Lecter has still not returned. Is there anything you wish to do about it?
Yeah, I will go look for him.
Nope. You can't find him anywhere. You ask around, nobody has seen him. last time anybody actually seen him was you, Jack, Pablo, and the person by the name of Kent, uh, who kind of told you about the whole Norn situation. Nobody else seen him anywhere.
And then ask, are in the center of the archipelago.
Okay. And
Kinda?
no. Wait. This is not yet.
Okay.
Ken. Yeah, no response. No response. And then you go to bed, maybe he was fine. Morning comes. You're told that maybe within the evening, about 10 p.m., you should be reaching the bastard. That there's nowhere to be. Is there anything else you wish to do throughout the day, Ken?
Oh, do I want to? I don't want to. Not a whole lot I can think of with that person.
Or just just do your own stuff, I guess.
I'm gonna tinker a bit.
Okay, sure.
Just some nonsensical
So
tinkering, figuring out how mechanical stuff
yeah.
works and all that.
Stuff is happy. Like just people live life hour by hour passes. About 6 in the evening. So about additional 10 hours pass since you've woken up. Lecter is nowhere to be seen, and you can see from the distance this giant, jagged place of ice and this perpetuate storm of a blizzard hangs above. As you in the horizon see just like the very, I guess the what was the bastard in all of its splendor and glory, now into this frozen husk. Then of course, there's this call out to Lecter that they're approaching the bastard, and about a half an hour passes, and you see Jack kind of runs into you, kind of with a fast pace looking around, and asks you, have you seen Lecter anywhere? At this point, Lecter, my boy.
Mm-hmm. You have died.
No. Just quickly. All of a sudden, as you were just waiting and just thinking about your options of like, you're probably gonna leave, all of a sudden you see all the tentacles. Did you count like 7 or 8 of them? Kind of leap forwards towards the light and almost like grabbing the sand, digging it in, just kind of goes like pulls themselves with a sudden rust of speed. And all of a sudden, for a split second, everything just goes white. And as the whiteness subsides, you see that you're underwater, as water is present, but also very close to the surface. Maybe a mile or two from the very surface. As you can see, there's this glare of a bluish light that streams down from above the water. You see plains of bluish kelp as far as the eye can see. And in the distance, there's no longer any mist. It's all bright and quite pleasant in color, mainly blue with occasional stripes of green. You see a massive city that seems to be made of some sort of pearly white substance. And you see this just a colossal city. And now you realize the thing that you're riding on is almost like a centipede. But it's a very long centipede with limbs that are not naturally bent and seems to have no organic matter, as everything is either it doesn't have any or it's hidden by thick layers of chitin. You start to just so casually glide as the sounds screech for a second as you kind of look around, and everything just kind of subsides, and you just see yourself swimming towards the massive, I guess, beginnings of the cities, and you can see in the fields that eventually become what seems to be layouts of roads, hundreds by the thousands of fish folk wandering from one place to another doing stuff. A whole civilization present. And in this course of like 10 or so seconds, all of a sudden you see the gaze of your eldest brother look back at you as he kind of grabs you by the throat. Is there anything you wish to do, Lecter?
I cast Death.
On yourself.
That's it.
As he kind of grabs you. He does not squeeze you or tries to pull, but he kind of grabs you, just kind of pulls you up like a fish out of the water and stares you down. You're maybe 5 feet or 6 feet from the actual ground of the chitin as he kind of looks at you with his glaring eyes. And you hear a voice in your head. So, you ask of me to return to the surface. Now this. I see you have no discipline of your previous life. So what is it you wish?
You already know one of my main questions, and realistically speaking, the stakes just got even higher. But that isn't even the reason as to why I'm here. Honestly speaking, this is a mistake on my end, and I apologize for it. I should have asked whether you were involved in something out of the ordinary before going here. But I'm afraid it's too late to leave now.
You hear the metal grind as the grip slightly tightens, and you feel the fingers just kind of laid into your neck. Indeed, it is. So I suggest you be on your best behavior. For since you're my brother, I guess an audience should be granted to you as well. As he kind of then slightly let go of you. And I don't know if you want to just pick you up, like pick yourself back on the ground, just slowly levitate slightly a bit away from him downwards. As he kind of looks at you and now grabs his glaive to the side. As you're kind of fastly approaching the thing and looking around, Lecter, you see the architecture is sophisticated and quite good, actually. Nothing of a primitive sort. Giant temples, giant buildings, intricate roadways and connections. This place, you will guess just by seeing how high up you are as you kind of start to float above buildings. The buildings maybe are 5 or 6 stories tall and would put many nations of this world to shame. And you see maybe 4 or 5 miles of a city in length, just by looking around. And you see fish people, but these ones are not naked with jagged corals or dressed in, makeshift armors. These are finely clothed in almost like silk, and you see them kind of occasionally eyeing just you or the beast that you're going on, but nobody seems to question or even like fully acknowledge you. Just a bystanding glance, and none of them possess any of that almost like primitivism that you saw on the surface. So.
One question before we continue.
Mm-hmm.
You said that he picked up his glaive again.
Yes.
What kind of how would you call it? Gesture or stance is he holding it in? Is it like watchful, respectful, formal?
Over his shoulder, just eyeing the thing that is the centipede is going towards, and it seems to be just a massive palace, just a giant palace that seems to be glowing this almost like bright sapphire coloration in parts of it, and you see massive forests of just almost like the copies of just parks but underwater, with trees and plants, flowers, but they're different, still beautiful, but just not as on the surface. You see open pedestals or altars, and you see hundreds of these people be practicing some sort of arcane knowledge of theirs. As you can see from the massive runes that are showcased in the altars, that some of them are of evocation or conjuration, and you don't know if this is like just some display or is it a class that you're seeing for a split second. As you observe, you hear a voice in your head not ask you, but just tell you, and it's Owen as well. If you want to ask questions, ask them now, or do not think the Empress will give you such courtesy.
Which title should I refer to, if I'm talking at all?
You see the eyes in his socket just shuts down for a moment. It kind of looks back at you, and then it kind of slowly lights up. Refer to her as the Empress, Lady Azure, or do nothing.
And one other question. Is the power of our family known, acknowledged, or even accepted here?
Even beyond it.
Which means?
Kind of looks back at. Roll me a persuasion check.
Should be like +6. 16.
He takes a deep sigh, or what you seem to think, as its eyes shut off again, looks back at you. Then you hear a message in your head. It is to the courtesy of our father and myself that she lives. But because we saved her once, does not mean we have an option to call on such heavy fate, for she possesses power unmeasurable by the world on the surface. Do I make myself clear?
You do. I assume, or honestly, I don't dare to assume, but guess I need to anyway. This kind of power is the reason why you have an audience with her today.
An audience, I asked for her, so I can go back to the surface, to you. Which is either a lucky coincidence or a cruel twist of fate that you are brought here as well.
Let's just say, shortly before getting here, I've been informed of a second reason as to why we need you on the surface. But that will come up during the conversation, if at all.
So yeah, at this point, you realize something as you fly by buildings sometimes close. Every single building, it looks like marble, right, or just some white stone. But just looking just a bit closer, you realize that it's all made of pearl, like either glued up pearl or some sort of mixture. As you see, like getting closer, just occasionally through the large buildings, you see that it's like, well, very nicely made, but on the sides it's kind of jagged and bubbly. And occasionally you see with the currents of the water just kind of moves some particles of it, and you can see that it's just pearl. But yeah, takes you about 2 minutes or so as you are now in this massive palace that seems to house. Remember the heavily guarded ones, the heavily armored sea monsters, the fish people that you saw with giant collar things. You see these, but they're decorated in what seems to be silver or some sort of other shiny metal, wielding massive swords made of, you assume, just steel or maybe silver. And the number of them on this grand like clearing in the palace before the actual palace entrance, which is a tall structure, maybe a quarter mile long or tall, and who knows for how long it goes. You count, well, just by doing basic math of just I guess you count these by the thousands, if not more, as they all seem to be just on guard, as if as a perfect almost soldier, shoulder to shoulder, in just the corners of this clearing, and the centipede lands in the middle. As you see, all of them are 8 or 9 foot tall, and are ready to strike at any moment, but idling standing for any orders or the like. As soon as the centipede hits the ground, your brother immediately jumps down and starts just to walk towards this wide open arch that leads into this immensely lit corridor of corals in colorations of blue, yellow, red, purple. It's a massive 400 feet, 500 feet tall, and maybe 300, 400 feet wide. So you assume that you could march like 1,000 soldiers shoulder to shoulder just straight through this hallway.
Unless otherwise instructed, I will follow Dovin at a respectable distance.
So yeah,
So, roughly
roll me
20, 30
perception.
feet away.
Roll perception.
Okay. And one other side note, on the way there, I'll subtle cast. Where is it? Yep. I'll subtle cast Enhance Ability for the purpose of increasing my charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
So, looking around just closer and walking just for this, you see these very armored individuals are just the bulk of the forces, but also you spot what you assume are basically a better quality of sorcerers, the ones that you've seen before, with the tridents and the crimson pearls at the peak of their tridents. They're much more well dressed. They don't seem to be paying attention of you walking. They seem to be focused on observing the troops, occasionally talking between one another. And you see these are scattered all around, and they seem to be doing either a routine check or a patrol of their own. And you can count like 100, maybe 200 of these. Very, very finely dressed, almost like a, almost like like a nobility. Dapper, a highly quality robes, pouches, and satchels that seem to be made of highest quality leather. As you just kind of walk and walk, and eventually just reach the hallway, all of a sudden, the sensation of air fills your ears, or I guess what you assume are ears, as all of a sudden the water just is left behind you. As you look back, you see this hallway kind of barriers the water from entering into this place. And you can hear your brother's heavy footsteps, yours as well. The acoustics of this place is wonderful. And the whole place leads to what seems to be almost like a drop. Maybe 500 feet you see just a drop point, and you see a bunch of colorations below.
Mm-hmm.
So, takes you about a few minutes to walk to there. And you see, as you're kind of walking maybe a few dozen feet before you see tiny little streams of water from the outside or from the ceiling just kind of slowly pour in random trickles. It kind of makes this tiny waterfall downwards. Looking down, as your brother just immediately jumps in without saying a word, as he descends, you see that it's a very deep drop. Like, you don't know, maybe more than a mile.
We'll be following suit then.
Yeah, but you see that there's no side entrances anywhere in this just drop. You just see this perfectly sculpted off column, probably made of pearl as well, that is just randomly inhabited by coral and some sea fauna. So, you're just gonna drop?
Following Dovin.
Okay. Are you gonna use any spells or anything?
If I realize that I'm close to the ground and I'm moving at an alarming speed, I will stick to feather fall, but otherwise I don't want to cause any unwanted attention by
Yeah.
using
So,
magic.
you take a good half a minute to just land. Not land, but like you take half a minute to hear your brother just fucking with a massive foot just land, and you can hear the reverberations in the air of the impact. And yeah, you see him just kind of land, walk a few steps, and look back up at you as he's looking at you. You don't see any way of, I guess, stopping. Like, there's no like catch net system. Um, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Just sticking to whatever fall speed I'm currently at, and about a meter or like a few feet off the ground. That's when I would trigger feather fall as late as possible.
Yeah, I just imagine like yeah, 10 meters before hitting the ground, just and you start to just glide down slowly.
Hmm.
Your bro just kind of looks at you, doesn't say anything, and just continues walking. And this time, the hallway is still the same as previous, but this time is a lot smaller and is like 50 feet tall and maybe 30 feet wide. And it seems to just immediately um, lead to this very nice wooden door that is decorated in silver and encrusted in sapphires by the edges. You see your brother walk to this, it's about 200 feet, walk up to this uh, door slowly, put his hand on one of its doors, like on, because it's a double door, he puts a hand on one of the doors and just kind of looks back at you as you, I guess, approach closer.
Yep.
He then just closes his eyes and opens up the door. Um, what you basically see is, well, the first thing, this room, like if you think about Platinum Sea Blue, this this just puts to shame on how blue this room is. It seems to be, the ceiling and most of the walls seem to be littered in sapphires attached to it, as it gives this overwhelming shining blue coloration that stings for a bit, but then your eyes correct. You see this open chamber with a handful of these fish people sitting on these chairs. Well, these pristine, almost couches, but seem to be made of uh, pearl, stone, whatever. Um, as they seem to be, all their gazes immediately look upon you. And in the center of like this chamber, as they're all to the side, and at the center of the chamber, you see a pedestal and an inky blackish orb that is probably the size of like a watermelon of sorts, right? And you see this. Oh my god! You would assume it's an elf just immediately by looking at her features, but all of a sudden you see her scales are just covering the entire skin. There's no actual skin at all, and you see almost like these antlers of bone that seem to be either dilled, as in like shortened purposely, or cut down entirely. As you see this elven woman just kind of look at the orb and just kind of touch it and just try to look at it. You see one of its eyes is red, like crimson red, not like bleeding or anything, but it shines natural red coloration, while the other is replaced entirely by a sapphire jewel, an eye of sapphire. As you both walk in, the room besides both of you has 7 other people, 6 of them almost identically looking except for differences in clothing or what they're doing. And you see the figure in the middle. And of course, opposite of where you walk from, there's this massive throne that is decorated in pearls. Like the crimson pearls.
It's been a while since we last seen these. I'm not saying any of this out loud.
Yeah.
Like he's just thinking to himself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think... Oh god. If I do it too early, it's going to look shitty as well.
You all of a sudden you see Darwin just kind of observes the room, just kind of eyes slightly, and one of the closest to you, to your immediate right, just kind of stands up and kind of walks, gives like a slight nod to all of you. I'm sorry to disappoint, but the Empress is a bit preoccupied with meditating, and she is not available for a foreseeable future, since he kind of like glances a bit to the side and just kind of shrugs a bit for about 7 days or so, I think. I believe that means our business is concluded, and all of a sudden you see Dolvin just grab the fish person by the jugular. And you see everybody stands up, but they don't have any weapons or anything, but they stand up panicked and look at each other, like trying to figure out what to do. You see the grip is not tight, and you can see that he has like 2 fingers around his neck, and he has clear space, but you see the person is just panicking and tries to like get rid, and he's like breathing heavily as if about to pass out. And then he kind of throws slightly beside the fish person, who just kind of slightly floats for a bit before he just drops on the ground and just kind of scutters back to his chair. And then you see the elven figure raise her head slowly, her hand away from the orb. And she has this almost like a neutral look, but just a slight curved smile. As while her eye, the normal natural eye with the red glow, well, not just iris red, seems to be just naturally tracking, you both. The sapphire eye seems to be sporadic, just flickering almost across the room as if like a dog on a leash not knowing where to go. You see, it's an absolute amount of quiet for a good half or so of a minute. Lecter, is there anything you wish to do?
I am definitely not moving in any way. Unless there is an active action done by Dovin. Any like gesture of respect, but following the last thing, I assume that won't be happening. Honestly though, I think I'll slightly bow my head down. Not much, just as a gesture of, well, introduction, whatever. But not too much.
The gaze The gaze of the Empress kind of, when it officially observed you both, immediately looks at your brother and kind of keeps the gaze for a good 40 or so seconds, while the sapphire eye is just going sporadically all across the room, occasionally standing still and then just moving on its own again. And then all of a sudden the gaze looks at you, Lecter, and you see Revan's hand all of a sudden grabs you by the back and gives you just like almost like a half serious push forward.
Wait, whose hand?
Dovin. He's just gonna. Did I say someone else?
Yeah, you said Ravan.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Trickery guy!
Yeah.
Yeah.
R2 is behind me and pushed me into the stage.
Literally. You see, the gaze of the Empress now is upon you. Oh, Ryan. It's been too many
Keeping the head
moons.
down.
She was always present by the orb, but as she kind of observes you, she kind of walks a bit closer. She tilts her head to the side a bit. My dear child, do not be frightened. We knew each other before in the previous life. Why are you so afraid of me now? Is it something with my hair, my dress, my eye? As she kind of leans a bit closer towards you, she's getting uncomfortably close to you, like.
After an awkwardly long pause from like this side, like he's enduring this closeness for like.
Oh no! This whole conversation that you hear is in your mind. She's not saying this out.
Oh, okay, yeah. But you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
he's enduring this for like a good 20 seconds something. I have already messed up the rules of discipline in the presence of an empress, and I have not yet been granted permission to speak.
She kind of stretches her back. She puts her hands to her side and kind of looks at your brother for a bit. And there's a look of this mild amusement. And then after a few seconds, she looks back at you. You might be disrupting some codes of the surface dwellers, their disciplines and whatnot. But here, in front of me, your family.
This new life has robbed me the knowledge of someone terribly important, hasn't it?
Indeed. You look up upon your own mother, and you don't even recognize her face. Her eye just kind of widens a bit.
That explains one of the many reasons for my at least partial distaste of this new body. So many memories that I've apparently forgotten. And no immortal lifespan could ever make up for this lost knowledge. I apologize, Mother.
Oh, don't be. Your father most likely Gave you some fake memories about your childhood, about your probably foster mother being your real mother, how she cared for you, tended for you. It is a burden of a parent seeing your children die before you. She kind of takes a deep sigh. So, you wish to bring my how do I call him? My savior to the surface. To bring him to your father, my lover. I am very curious about the wording that he placed. To see them for one final time. He kind of looks up a bit. I'm slightly unhinged, looking up just at the ceiling. Does he look upon the sky and see something terrifying approaching? Does he not wish to inform me of what might come?
Does. There's one thing approaching that seems to occupy most of his focus as of right now. At least he claims his own end to be near.
She kind of roll me an insight check.
Okay. 29.
Okay. For a moment, as you say this, like in your mind, you see dread and genuine concern just kind of wash over her face, just also slightly, as her hair, they're relatively long, just kind of fall over her face, and you don't know if it's purposely done by her or just by coincidence that nobody else except for you could see her expression. All of a sudden just shifts back to almost like a cheerful, half flirty smile as she grabs her cheeks and rubs them. Of course, he worries about so many things. The surface is so wide and she kind of pauses for a minute. Sighs, and you can see she's genuinely blushing. You don't know what she's thinking of, but she is thinking about something specific. And then she kind of sighs as the small slightly fades. So you don't know anything? Nothing at all?
I told you that this new body has robbed me of a lot of the past, and honestly speaking, it is still littered with holes in the stories that are being told right now.
She kind of takes a step back. And her gaze of like the softness sterns up and becomes almost stone face, As she all of a sudden drops all the pleasantries, it becomes extremely serious, almost with this intention of hatred. As she extends her hand, and all of a sudden, this pristine horror manifests of sapphire. As she blows, all of a sudden, the entire palace just echoes, and vibrations can be heard for a minute as it echoes and distills just around you. And then she looks at your brother and just says, "You are free of your charge until the current problem at the surface is resolved. You will be escorted to the needed destination at post haste. You are dismissed." Dove and Emil just kind of nods and starts to walk off. Emil just turning 180 and walking back. What are you gonna do, Lecter, as her gaze all of a sudden turns back to you? Hmm?
Stop capping.
Nah, to the sucker. That thing tower. Barik.
You okay?
Yeah. Barik. My little brother forgot his fucking charger, and I was asking for mine. I'm like, your different phone? Anyway, but yeah. Is there anything Lecter does as Dolan just walking away, and the gaze of the Empress is upon you now?
I think I would actually just face her for a moment. The archipelago is a brilliant place. Every day you meet new people who tell new stories. Frustrating sometimes.
In your head, you hear the voice familiar. Do you wish to know the story of how you came to be? Why the things are the way they are?
One of so many stories I would wish to hear. And at least right now, while my ship is still on its way to the Bastard Island, I should still have time for one more story.
Okay. She kind of nods. Okay. And then she kind of starts speaking out loudly herself. Okay. And then she kind of looks at everyone, and this familiar face of authority shows as she looks upon, and everybody fucking bolts out of the fucking chamber. Just as the gaze starts to be shown, all of a sudden everybody just either whatever they had on hand or whatever they were, doing, they either dropped it or immediately dropped it and just ran. And as they ran out, the doors immediately just shut off by their own. And now you're left alone with her.
One side note, this woman is giving me serious Harley Quinn vibes. It's a happy kind of insanity, and I'm genuinely not sure what to think of it. Family, maybe. I didn't say that out loud, but yeah.
She kind of walks back a bit towards the orb in the middle, looks at you and kind of raises her right hand. You kind of come closer slightly as you kind of twirls her fingers into the fist for you to come closer. As she, with her
I will.
left hand, grabs the orb. If you said you can only do one more story, since the time is not right. But do you at least know where to come, where to go if you wish to hear more? So tell me on your oh so empty little mind. What would you wish to know first? What is the most burning question in your mind?
Do you know why we are like this?
The way that you are now, or before you were turned into this?
This. I know who we were before, or at least I think so. We had a title, now attached to it. Family. All of it slowly broken apart by a disease. But instead of curing the disease or attempting something to either keep us alive or get us replaced, this happened. And I'm just like pointing at myself. And some of us have embraced it. I mean, practically speaking, Ratmat seems to be happy with his new form. Rext as well. On the other side, Pilp, not so much.
And extends her hand. Grab my hand then, and I'll tell you a quick tale of why the things are the way things are.
1 second. Stoßgebet. There we go. Yeah.
You're like,
There we go then.
You're like, okay, 1 hour 43 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll go in.
A second. So, as you touch your mother's hand, you all of a sudden see the entire room slowly but surely get engulfed by the bluish sapphire glow. Let's see if this is the right one. Ah. And with the sapphire glow, the items, except for both of you in your physical forms, remain. The rest is just this bluish horizon, bluish floor. Actually, pale sapphire that if you stomp harder, just kind of becomes stronger in coloration. As she kind of lets go of her hand of you and kind of puts both of them behind her back, she kind of observes you. Where do I begin? You might see me as an abomination of sorts. Perhaps. I don't know. What do you see within me, Orion? Do you see what you saw on the surface? Do you see the same as you saw through the streets in the palace? The courtiers and the administrators to my side? Or do I look a bit off, a bit different?
You do look different, but I wouldn't be able to place it.
I am a Revengar, an odd entity long ago when this world was ruled by dragons. The first breed between direct children of Tiamat herself and simple immortal beings. We kind of made ourselves the golden age, having the power of the dragon, but the joys of the mortals did as we see fit for millennia upon millennia. She kind of takes a deep sigh, but all things went as they usually go, to ruin, and the paradise was lost forever. Most of my brothers and sisters died immediately. A few of them survived, but as time went on, they all one by one died out, getting hunted or killing themselves by their own hubris. I hid, in many ways, in many forms. And eventually I was tired. And I tried to sell old scores. It didn't went as planned. I was prepared to be sacrificed by some sect of Tiamat as one of the last legitimate sons of our dynasty, or some smidgen of power. But then I was saved by your oldest stepbrother and your father. For that place happened in the Archipelago, and that is their charge. They found me broken. It took me years to recover. Some things healed, some... She kinda twitches her eye a bit. Were replaced. And your father gave me the hospitality to stay wherever you please in the archipelago. And I didn't knew by this point that the surface no longer welcomes me, so I looked upon the depths of this place. Many ancient magics dwell in this place, brought on by unknowns. So I made a stowaway of myself here. And since Archipelago is a magical place, with a lot of randomness, may it be luck or misfortune, I took the best I could, and in a matter of a few centuries, I made this nothingness into a vast empire. All the fallen that fell to the bottom, dragged, collected, converted, to serve my every will and whim. But before you say anything, I do not have any hatred towards your father. Quite the opposite, in fact, seeing that you're here. Oh, I'm sorry. She kind of grabbed her head. That was not the thing you were asking about, was it? No. No. So,
It's honestly fine. Every sentence spoken is an answer to some question, so
and let me skip to the thing that you asked. Your father had a wife. I did not know her name. He was secretive about his things. And she bore him 4 children. Govin, Ash, Bota, the botanist, as he likes to call himself, and Rodvin. But with the birth of the 4th, something terrible happened. A misfortune, a cruel twist of fate. As your father's wife did not make through it. And he was struck with grief. He was immensely cruel. One that you wished never to witness personally. He did a lot of things that you regretted in those times. And I saw myself as I lost a lot and looked upon him and I saw something familiar. And I comforted him. There's like a sly smile across her face. I comforted him a lot. And from that comfort, he found somewhat of a peace and 16 additional sons. Well, not 16. At the beginning there was 4, but then it was 16. Ash, the 2nd son. I do not know why, but he saw you, the rest of you, as illegitimate, insignificant, pawns on a board too small. Maybe out of jealousy. Maybe he saw something that he lacked and he was envious. He concocted something, a disease, that afflicted only you all. It was something severe, something untreatable by both divine or arcane. Not even I could fix you. But your brother fell in grief as he confessed to me, wanted to kill the false sons of his father. But then him, Rockman, Boda, Rockman also were inflicted under the same affliction. and the despair on his eyes, the consequences on his shoulders. It broke him immensely. I did not know what fate awaited you. I was awaiting for your death. As that is a cruel thing to wait, but it was a pain that was supposed to happen. And then came the eldest, dropped at the bottom of the ocean, remembered me by name, told me of what happened oh so many centuries ago, and without hesitation, without a breath, I offered him a stay as my personal champion, for I knew that he is a fighter equal to none. And he's now a lot more stronger than he used to be.
Is there a name given to the thing that Ash made? I'm just wondering.
She goes silent. I did not know what or who or Ash was a capable user of arcane, but he would not make something so wild so easily. And he was distraught. He did not know what he did. It was less of a spell, more of a curse, and he did not know how he afflicted upon everyone and himself. But your father, he knew. She kind of goes silent. You see the look, like she had a pleasant look upon you, but when she looks upon, she looks kind of down a bit. Her face is almost contorted as her eye is completely still, both of them. She's just looking down, almost like to the floor, and just stays there silent for a good half a minute or so. There... You said your father wished to see you all for the final time.
Some of us have taken it a bit critically. Rodwin is not convinced. Pilp wants to see it as a chance of revenge. Odwin doesn't seem to be interested in it directly. Passing along to see the family again. Carmack. Honestly, I genuinely don't understand him. Right now, there are many different reasons, and I'm not too sure what to think of it.
She kind of checks herself. How am I gonna tell you? A construct of wood and metal that I, an half-breed that is over 20 millennia old, have a motherly feeling that something is wrong. Some things can surprise me even now.
Apart from Dovin, how long has it been since you last talked to one of us?
Last person I talked to, one of your brothers, was Ash. About a year or so. It was only a few weeks after I was told that you're all bedridden, no longer moving, breathing, waiting for death. And I waited, and I waited. And then a few months later, your eldest stepbrother showed up on the Archipelago.
It's been continuing like this since. This is
how do I say this?
just a really, really depressing story because nobody seems to know everything. But everybody wants to know more.
So many angles,
Yep.
like broken glass. Maybe you know something that I
Mm.
don't.
Like that perks up at that sentence for a second and then just ignore that. I'm sorry.
You see, you see her, like, she is maybe about 6 feet, just a bit taller maybe.
Mm.
She was standing there proudly when they first saw you. Now she's slightly hunched over, and you see, and the actual eye that is still present seems to be just blinking a lot. And you see her lip move slightly. She kind of remains there silent.
Mm. So does Lecter. This is the most literal awkward silence ever. In the most grandiose hall, just two people standing there in silence.
I miss you all so dearly. think that your father wishes to see all of you because he wants to kill you, but not because he genuinely misses you.
That thought has crossed not just your mind. He has given me a token that should represent his honesty about this. I kind of removed the banner of the First Dawn from my back. Like, non-threateningly. So, but like I said, some of my brothers aren't convinced. This could be a misdirection, of course. Lending one of the brothers power so he would bait the others to come back.
She kind of takes the banner. She kind of clutches it, and she closes her eyes, and you see tears streaking through the still present eye.
One thing I should mention, I'm not letting go of the banner, so it's like both hands on it.
Yeah. I wondered if you ever bring it up. Do you know how he got it?
Banner?
She kind of nods.
I don't.
Like, it it was one of my first gifts to him. Wonder if he did it intentionally. He does have a lot of foresight. As she kind of raises her hand through the top of the banner, you see at the corner of the threads, bluish, yellowish, and reddish lights start to burn up, and you see the coloration slightly subsides, and you see it seems to be woven out of kelp. Like not like broadthroat, but you see the threads that were made out of this. As the coloration fades, you see it's been made of like basic dried kelp thread.
Is it like actively replacing the banner?
No, it's like basically decoloring it, and you see the actual like this plain green, very ugly coloration of it.
I always love seeing objects tell their stories. Great storyteller is always needed, but this world has many stories to tell, and it appears I've just found another one.
I don't think he's gonna be mad about this, is he? Is he? And she kind of takes her hand across the threads again, and all of a sudden she kind of rips the bottom of it. Just you hear this painstaking scratch of thread just snapping off and breaking. You doing anything or just?
I'm carefully watching.
As she takes the as she takes the like the side of it where she broke it, she goes for the entire bottom of it, just tears it, and all of a sudden she just throws it, and she extends her hands, and all of a sudden you see her just relatively scaly hand becomes a lot more scaly, but not one of fish scales, more of dragon scales of bluish descent. As she kind of extends her hand, just kind of slightly caresses the destroyed thread at the bottom, and then she kind of pulls it slightly, and you see a continuation of the kelp just kind of go further down the banner. It's all in kelp. You don't see the coloration of it. But the whole banner at the beginning was like 2 feet long, and now she made it like 2 more feet longer. Wait, no. I forgot exactly how much because I told you specifically, but it's 2 feet more longer now.
Mm.
As this banner included the setting of dusk or dawn of the sea. Now it also, as the colorations of signs, showcases the water by the dawn, dusk. And as it descends, it becomes bluer and bluer, and eventually darkness, with what seems to be a full moon at the very edge of it, at the very bottom in the center.
Okay.
Which is it? Kind of looks at you. You see her eye, the one that is the red one. Just she's weeping. She says nothing. She just looks at you. Well, if you're all gonna be united, well, it's the banner will be correct. Or do not let your father think for a second that I have forgotten or forsaken you.
Do you wish me to tell him that?
She says nothing, but she gives you a nod.
This banner tells a story. You told it to me. So far, I've used it to invite the rest of the family. Well, now with the expanded story that you provided, it shall continue to unite the family. Thank you.
I try my best. I truly do. Sometimes I forget why I am doing this at all. Thank you for reminding me why.
A bit of a different note, like above table. I used to have this weird effect on my arm of the platinum scales from the Bahamut shield.
Yeah?
Did that subside at some point?
Yes, it did. I told you.
Yep.
Yeah. So like a few days after.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those draconic scales. Just one last question. before I'll pass on.
Mm-hmm. What is the question I misheard?
Yep. Those draconic scales. Do you think this is part of our heritage as well?
Maybe.
I've had scales like this at least once. Only for a short time, and it may be tied to the object I got them from, but it reminded me of it. Who knows? Resonance with a bloodline.
There is a lot of mysteries that I don't need to know. I imagine you're needed on the surface, as all of a sudden you see the emerald sheen subsides, and you see the familiar surroundings of the just come back to the present, as you're now in the empty throne room, you two alone. The banner still the same, just now with additional 2 feet of tapestry.
Thank you. The story up there is convoluted, overlapping, involves way too many moving pieces, like some messed up clockwork. But we're trying to hold on. At least until this mission is finished. I mean, we're almost halfway through. Still don't know how I got some of them aboard, but it's really fun seeing the family back together. Maybe at some point we'll be able to visit you. Until now, I'll try to relight some of the embers of the memories that still exist of the family. Maybe something exists as remnants, so that my other brothers may be able to remember you as well.
Maybe.
Story has to be told. And with that, I give I lean back the banner a bit to start putting it back into the holster I have for it.
She kind of steps back, looks at you, wipes the tears off, and the familiar smile just glazes over. Well, I better teleport you before your brother kills all of your crew. Best wishes to the surface. As she takes 2 claps.
Thank you.
Ken! Ken, my boy! You're present?
Yep.
Oh god, let me just quickly. Let me just tell you something. Things are not to see. Give me a second. So, give me a second. So, Ken, as you're kind of just were told, as you're maybe like a good half an hour to an hour of making to the bastard, at least the beginning of it. And of course, Jack is asking you where Lecter is. All of a sudden, you just hear a gut-wrenching screech to the side of the hall, as you hear fucking clamping sounds of metal hitting metal.
That's probably him.
Maybe. And you make it on the main surface, and you see this fucking 12-foot tall Goliath of a fucking warforged with a giant fucking glaive that seems to broken the side of like the ship as he was crawling on the side of it and just made it to the surface. You see splintered wood beneath his fucking feet. As he has his glaive ready to just be on his shoulder, he stares at you, Ken, and says nothing. That is definitely not Lecter. He just kind of points at it.
He's just saying, "Oh, oi! You're one of Lecter's brothers?"
He just gives a sly nod and says nothing else.
After a small prop, it's like, "All right, welcome aboard. Sure you'll be here along soon."
Okay. Okay. He just stands there. Jack just kind of points at him. Fucking mouth agape.
The usual. Like, what the fuck, Lecter?
No. He's staying side because like Lecter, you're tall, right? You're kind of taller than Jack. Fucking Dovin is like almost twice your height, and he's like pointing. Like, are you just gonna be in school with him? But yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ken has seen Dovin at least once.
Yeah, he did, but still, Jack
I have.
hasn't.
Just
Jack
double
hasn't.
checking. Just double checking.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, as you know, you're like making your way out. You see this swirling of rainwater on the main deck, Ken. Like just like it, as if like from the floorboards to maybe 10 feet above, just a whirling pool of water before suddenly just splash, and you see Lecter on his knees. Lecter, the last thing you saw was the surroundings of the chamber, and your mother wishing you good luck. And the next thing you see is fucking Kendall staring back at you. Like maybe by the bridge, like walking up to the bridge, and you see fucking Jack is losing his shit, just pointing at your brother to your immediate left.
Lecter, I see you finally got the big one from the trench.
Oh. Lecter just gets up, fixes his clothes a tiny bit.
You
Was
see,
certainly an interesting conversation.
You see Dolan just look like he twists his head and looks at you, and he looks at the banner, and he says nothing.
One more title for the list. Should we stick to Dovin for now?
You hear an echo. He doesn't have a mouth that opens up because it's all almost like welded shut. You just hear this crackly metallic echo. Indeed.
Do as you wish then. There are already multiple of us aboard. Anyone you wish to see? Carmack, Pilp, Rodwin.
You all of a sudden just see him look around. He has his feet planted in the same spot, and he's not moving from it. He just looks around, looks below a bit, and then he just gives like a very low pitch hum. And you see his chassis in a matter of seconds starts to fully vibrate. And you see, after like a good 15 seconds, you see fucking Rodwin just jump, like fucking on all fours from the stairway on the main deck and run.
Fucking savagery.
No, runs, and like you expect, like he's running just full sprint, and you think like jump kick. No, he just runs and just impacts Dove in the chest with just his own chest as he kind of hugs him.
I'll quickly check whether Death Ward is still up, realize it isn't, and cast it again.
Oh yeah, Lester, you realize something. Jack just kind of yells at you, "Hey!"
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he kind of points, like, because you're looking like at the bridge, so not directly like towards the front. He just kind of points behind you. You look back and say like, "Ah, shit! Look at that! Just a giant ice pillar, or just fucking ice, as far as I can see."
Oh, of course. Guess I'll be looking for a certain place. This will be fun. I think this is good enough for now. We'll do the rest of the exploration by foot.
So yeah, you see Rodman just kind of hugging, because you realize he's hugging even though like he actually needed to jump to get some fucking height, because to grab hands around the neck is quite a bigger jump. But he kind of grabs him and hugs him, and then you see Loven just kind of gives like two. You assume he wants to do mild taps on the back, like there, but you realize the impact that it's putting out would probably break Ken's back.
Second,
Just-
I'm just imagining this kind of size reference. Anyway.
Oh no.
Yeah. Continuing on.
Yeah, so
Just watch the entire thing for a while. And like, what time is it right now?
oh yeah. Would you even know? Cause you're like, Let me think. Well, I mean, first of all, you look around and it's like, oh my god, it's fucking dark outside. It's getting dark because it's like 7:30 p.m. It's actually like, dusk already.
Okay. So this part happened. Crossing that off my list.
Are Rodwin and Dovin just continuing like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
If nothing happens in like 10 minutes, I'll just leave them to it.
Oh no, if you're gonna wait 10 minutes. Also, Ken, because you notice it, then yeah, as the ship is slowly approaching, the guest eyes, you can see the additional banner that Lecter now has, that is kind of almost neatly tucked behind his back. But you realize something, that as like the darkness enters from the night kind of slowly becomes more present, and when the shadows hit the specific spots, the lower part of the banner seems to be reacting to it, as it seems to emitting a glow of the stars beneath the sea.
Where'd you get that one?
Mating family is always interesting. It's the continuation of the family story, and well, yeah, my presumably other parent is definitely quite interesting as well. Lecter is a good bit exhausted from this.
You mean you met your mum?
That's one way to say it, yes.
Ain't that interesting?
Definitely. There's one last thing I need to tie up for tonight, and I'd say by tomorrow we embark to explore the bastard for a bit. How about that?
Sure.
Yeah. What you also see is you see Evanor, you see Radgar, you see Timora, slowly but surely, not together, but one by one, make it on the surface, and just kind of observe this giant.
Family is growing. I'd imagine we're all just like standing close to the stairs
Yeah.
while all of that is just going on, and yeah. The small ones are standing there, then there's Rodwin, then there's Dovin. Yeah. There's just one last thing I got to make peace with, and that's something Lecter does by himself.
Mhm.
In the evening, before taking his long rest outside of the room, he would check on a simulacrum. A few days ago, he set up a simulacrum to check or like keep an eye on my room door.
Mhm.
Pretty much personal guard dog. And I, first of all, would ask whether anything happened. Like,
He
no
shakes his head.
escape attempts? Okay. In that case, Lecter would enter the room and check on the rock himself.
You see, Ravan's clone sitting on the bed, hands behind his back, legs intertwined in front, eyes closed, and you see in front of him this staff that seems to be made of a single like a single large old branch of like an oak maybe, that seems to be just floating, and seems to have cracks, like when wood is electrocuted and there's like these
Scorch
cracks.
marks.
Yeah, scorch marks. It's scorch marks of purple flame, as it seems to just be meditating with the staff.
Yeah. I will use my a staff to cast my daily true seeing, which I didn't use so far. And is there any active magic going on?
Just your magic and the staff.
Okay. In that case. Well, so I'm sorry for not being able to appear over the last few days. Your form seems to have kept up well.
Through practice, I can achieve many things. Keeping up a simple illusion is simple.
Of course.
You look around, Lecter, and you see while some parts of the food had been eaten, well, some just were not touched. And I like a specific time, more like he just stopped eating entirely.
Yeah. Reached a point in enlightenment where nutrition no longer becomes a necessity. Part of the story. Still, I assume nothing much has happened recently.
Shakes his head slightly.
Any insights you can give me about this? Specifically, nodding towards the staff. I know that your kind prefers keeping secrets, but
Genuine surprise.
on your end?
Indeed, in mine. You would think Zerful would notice me gone, me missing. But he hasn't. So it begs the question, is he not informed of my escape? Or does he purposely know of it and waits for a specific moment of time?
There's other reasons as well as to why he wouldn't be bothered. Can you give me a point of truth as to your presence here? Conversations of illusions with people of your kind are always a bit difficult.
Well, depends on what you wish to ask. I cannot tell
It's
you.
a really simple question. Could you leave this room if you wanted to?
I have not tried. Nor do I wish to attempt it.
Good. Honestly, haven't done it in a while. I'm going to make an insight check on that, if you allow me to.
What do you mean if I allow it to?
The dungeon master always has the right to.
Vito, fucking check. He seems to be genuine. He seems to actually like his mind seems to be somewhere else. Like he kind of just realized I'm kind of in this place.
Mm-hmm.
And you see when he opens up his eyes, they're just violent purple. There's no illusion that he's keeping the previous eyes the same.
Yep. Give me like 5 seconds, I'll be right back.
Wait, are you in real life?
I just gotta fix something in real life, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be right back as well then.
I have a small bug sitting in my room, like on the desk next to me, and I just watched that thing die of heat stroke. Apparently, it's kind of warm inside my room. So, Ken, sorry for hogging the spotlight again.
Oh, Lecter lore is best lore.
It's still kind of funny to me that
Oh, Lecter turned into a robot.
huh?
It
Sorry?
went very robotical.
Oh, okay. That was not intentional. Yeah. The fuck? What did I just want to say? Well, I
First
completely
off,
forgot.
what did you just say?
I legit don't recall. Like, literally 5 seconds, and my brain just decided, well. Four last fort not found. I genuinely need to get myself a soundboard which just sounds like the Windows era.
So, anything else you'd like to ask Ravan, aka The Rock?
You said that this thing has triggered surprises in you. What kind of surprises?
What kind of surprises?
Yeah.
This world is full of surprises. Few different surprises. You're kinda eyes a bit to the side. Do you feel it?
Do I feel what specifically?
The flow.
I see the worldly truth right now.
He shakes his head. No, no. The innocent of the youth. Do you not see what is in front of you? What is around you? What is within you? The raw power of the arcane. The fetters fully loose, unrestrained, uncontained.
It is
Come on.
certainly contained, at least to an extent.
I am confused. I'll be honest with you. I have seen a lot. I am an ancient demon. And you see his skin around his neck start to become a bit more feathery, and his neck starts to prolong a bit. The amount of free, tameless, unrestrained arcana flowing through the air. Such invigorating presence. I have not sensed that in some 3 odd millennia.
Bound
Before
to this ship to displace this world?
this
Which
world,
source?
unrestrained arcana. You see his tab starts to glow at the very tip of it, and it's kind of begins to slightly singe. Before the folly, before the spit plague, before. You see him kind of looking up into the sky, and you see he kind of shakes his head, and when he shakes his head, all of a sudden you see the familiar beak and face of a rock. His eyes glaring in pristine, brilliant purple. I admire my failure of a pupil, for he brought me to a place unrestrained in the time of Mistral, the time of freedom. He will make a first, yet very delicious sacrifice. He kind of eyes you down a bit, Lictor. His beak chippers a bit. You are born of this place, of this time. How many magi would pluck their eyes, pluck their lips, pluck every sense to feel the flow that gains you to? Do you comprehend the gift?
This world has been blessed by magic. In comparison to some other worlds, it's certainly powerful. I'm not denying that. Still, it's one more property of this world. Extension of science, weather, geography, magic. If you wish to see it as a blessing, feel free to do so.
In that case, I will just right. So that is my surprise. That is what I'm so surprised upon this world. The rest is trivial to me.
The other worlds that you, I would assume, previous experience in are weaker than this? Weaker magic?
Same source, more restrictions. But long ago, it was a lot more freer, a lot more present. This feeling is nostalgic to me.
Speaking about a time that you personally experienced or only heard about?
experienced. I am an old, old rock.
Magic of the world, then. Another blessing. Say it as you wish. If anything comes up, knock on the door. I will be standing outside. Other than that, I hope you can keep yourself entertained.
He just kind of nods.
Bask in the glory of the arcane power of this world, or whatever you wish to do. One last note, though, that I just realized. That student of yours. What was his name again?
Zerful.
Zarathor. I'll keep that in mind. So, I'll see you later then. And with that, I'll leave the room.
Yeah, just kind of nods and slowly subsides back to his normal. Oh my fucking. No, nothing. I just God, I'll tell the story after. But yeah, yeah. He just nods and kind of shifts back to his usual thing.
It kind of has a feeling similar to entering and exiting a lion's cage.
Uh-huh.
Can't quite put the feeling there. Anyway, continuing on. I think afterwards I would move back upstairs and just continue checking on the situation upstairs, see whether the situation has evolved in any sense.
Ah. It's like, oh god. Oh boy. Cool. Ah. Okay. So, making your way back, you see, I guess everybody is now surrounding Dovin. Well, not surrounding, like, or all around him, but like in front of him, just looking up. You see the Rodwin is no longer on, just hanging on. It's kind of to the side. And you see Temora is sitting on one of the shoulders of him to his right, and just having a conversation that is kind of like you can see that they're talking, but you also see that you cannot hear anything as you're approaching the place, the ice place. It has clouds of just hanging above it, and as you exit outside, you see just a blizzard that is just engulfing the main deck and litters the entire main deck with just snow. So you see your brothers have covered in snow having a conversation that you'd have no idea what they're talking about.
This does kind of remind me of the situation regarding Ragnar. Continuing on though.
I think I would join them over there on the deck, try to listen into the conversation. Unless, of course, I get some obvious sign that this is not a good idea.
Ah, there's literally nothing. I mean, cat.
Are you alright?
I'll tell you later, but fuck me. Okay. So, it is getting dark. You're kind of in the blizzard. And as you approach, you hear Tamora say, "So, how many eels have you shoved up your ass?" Brian immediately looks at Tamora. Everybody then looks at Tamora. Tamora disappears. Wait, you have Chusai, right?
Yep.
You see him fucking go invisible and fucking fly away into the blizzard. And then you see Dovin looks at you, Lecter, and says, "So, you gathered about half. Do you know the rest's location?"
I'm missing 4 locations. Ash, Halax, Act, and Nast. I am pretty sure that I know where Ash currently resides. I can assume that Palax is with him, but I have no idea about the other 2. Assuming that I got all of this information from our father, whose power reigns in the archipelago mostly, well, I might be able to assume that they are nowhere near this area.
Boy. Okay, I cannot. Just to put in perspective, this is the fucking tweet. This is just the context of like why I'm laughing. Anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you doing? What kind of conversation are you having? Because he acknowledges it, and you see everybody else looking at it, and there's this very interesting thing about you being in the blizzard. See, you know, your I guess lie like yourself, but everybody just has just lights just looking at you.
yeah. More or less not really seeing the person, but just the eye staring at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Through the blizzard.
Yeah. I'll have to figure something out to actually find them. Well, some of my brothers are our brothers, sorry, are a bit more difficult to get to. The most problematic of which is going to be Maki, who is currently on an island called Norn, which happens to be horribly infected with magic by the Platinum Seas, and they have sent a seize to us that if we were to ever step a foot on that island again, they would kill anyone we love. So
You see, you hear a sly chuckle from Dovin. I would like to see them try.
I have to honestly say that I had a similar thought. But at least now, I don't see the need yet to actually act on that. Still have a few more people that we can pick up before we pass by Norn. 2 more, to be exact. The next 2 people that are going to be close by are going to be Seb and Rex. Rex being most likely maybe half a day away, sitting somewhere in a frozen garden in this island. I've talked to him before, in Cradle Rocks.
Roy just kind of looks at you. So, are we digging for this ice to get to him?
From what I can tell right now, that won't even be necessary. It's going to be fine, mostly. We'll make a pass above, and if we don't find anything, that's when we start digging. I didn't see any hints that he would be underground or completely encased in ice. Just in a frozen place like this. And knowing what has happened to this place, I have a rough idea of what he's been up to. The other one is going to be even easier. Just a bit of a funny situation regarding the placement. I've seen him before as well. Though some magic might be necessary to actually get our friend back to full control.
Ah.
But we'll deal with that in the morning, letting the blizzard pass for now. At least, hoping so. Being part of a search party is more fun if you can actually see something. And seeing as he has been mostly having fun there, he seems relaxed. I don't think there is a strong urgency on his end.
So, as you all on the main deck getting just littered with snow, I think we're gonna call it unless you want to continue.
I actually think that is a pretty decent spot to finish it. Wait, I have one last question actually.
Oh god, what is it?
How do we explain Ravan's absence during today's session?
I'll tell you.
Did Timora's snake actually get him?
Would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's been wrangled up by a snake this entire.
Yep.
I walked into a door. He's all tangled up, and I'm like, nope.
I'm not getting into that right now.
He's tangled up naked. You're
I think it's a good
God.
place to stop.
Yeah. So.
I mean, if you're into it, you do you.
you. Like Ravan asking for help, and Kel's like, oh, this is a sexual thing. I'm gonna leave.
Ah. Okay.
Finally used that debauchery. Fuck, you got some weird king.
Good point. Ravan's the one who has that.
Yeah. So, anything you wish to say before I'm shutting the stream down with no survivors?
Sylvan's on board the ship. Fuck.
Holy shit.
Oh no. Oh god.
I called it.
You didn't call that much, did you? Holy shit.
I
Nope. He
knew
called the
Omnis being
Omnis
alive.
pod.
I knew it.